And you'll see right in front of you, mindfulness really helps us with a series of areas around in our lives: relationships, energy, the body, the brain, our careers, and finances. And if you look at the whole entire picture, to me, it is definitely about livelihoods and lives. And we normally start each and every session with actually a mindful practice. So I'm going to invite you to really indulge me and take advantage of this opportunity to be mindful. So we start off with a meditation, and I'm going to become more technical this time as I lead it. And with the slide in front of you, you'll see we've got a breathing exercise, which is called a 3-part breathing exercise, and a body scan meditation. And by 3-part breathing, basically how it's going to work is you're going to inhale nice and slowly through your nose to the count of 6, and then you're going to hold your breath for a count of 2, and then you will exhale to the count of 8. Okay? So to do that, I'm going to invite you just to sit back and relax. You may close your eyes if you want to. If you're not comfortable with closing your eyes, you may just soften your gaze and just rest and just be present in this moment right here. So, and as you settle into this moment, I invite you to begin by bringing your awareness to your breathing without trying to control your breath. Just allow it just to flow naturally before we do the actual exercise. So become aware of just the natural flow of your breathing. I'm definitely trying to calm mine because it's beating very fast. And how we do that is by then beginning to breathe with intention. So slowly inhaling to the count of 6. And holding it for the count of 2. And then releasing your breath nice and slowly to the count of 8. This is definitely something that you can practice at your own time, at your own space in the office, just to calm yourself. And as you do that, you may then begin to also scan your body just by becoming aware of any sensation that comes up within your body as you breathe in and out. And the reason why we practice mindfulness in this manner, which is really one of the tools, is bringing your awareness into your breath. And when we do that, you are basically removing your attention from the mind chatter. If you look at the picture on the screen, there's a man and a dog walking, and you can see the man has got a lot on his mind. And then the dog has got absolutely nothing in his mind, just observing beautiful nature. So this is really an opportunity for us to silence the mind chatter, or what we call the monkey mind in mindfulness, so that one is able to focus on what is. And when you focus on what is, you're also able just to become aware of all the sensations that come within your body, and just really checking in with yourself. As human beings, we live on autopilot, where we're just simply doing things without being mindful. And the whole purpose of mindfulness is for us to be able to really check in with ourselves. So the next slide looks at really what, just checking in. And this is something that we do in my practice and where I work as well, where when we have a meeting, we literally just check in with each other. And we've done it as well with the PBF, where at the beginning of any meeting, after a meditation or after a moment of stillness, you check in physically. So how are you feeling physically? And obviously, once you've spent time engaging and just listening to your body, you should know how you're feeling physically. And how are you feeling emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually? So that's another tool that I'm sharing with you today. And if I can also just demonstrate how we normally check in. So one would say, after your meditation, physically, like right now, I'm feeling a bit cold, but I should be fine as we get right into this. Intellectually, I'm ready for the session. I have been ready since 4 a.m. this morning, very excited. And emotionally, I'm very happy and very content. But also what's making me happy is that my daughter turned 10 yesterday. And spiritually, I'm forever connected and forever grateful. So that is an example of checking in, but we always encourage people to check in however they want to check in. And the reason we do that, it also gives you an opportunity to see where people are at, you know? As human beings, a lot happens in our lives. And if one comes to work and they've gone through a lot, once you check in, you get to see where they're at. And then in that way, you'll know how to engage with a person throughout the day. And then the other part of mindfulness is really gratitude. There's always something to be grateful for. And especially during these difficult times, whether it's in business, whether it's work, I mean, it could be anything. We're grateful for life itself. And I love the focus on being grateful for your breath, because really life starts with the breath. Being grateful, the fact for a business that is there to be rescued. So there's many things to be grateful for. So it really allows us the opportunity to take stock of what really matters and what really exists in this current moment, rather than dwelling in the past, which is no longer there, or focusing in the future, which has not even arrived yet. And lastly, it's all about setting an intention. You know, you get up every day, you just get out of bed and you just simply go on autopilot. But what is your intention for getting up? What is your intention for your business? What is your intention for each and everything that you're doing? So mindfulness also gets us into a practice of being intentional about each and everything that we're doing, whether you are walking, whether you are breathing, whether you're rescuing your business, whatever it is, it's about really setting an intention. And here's the picture that I showed earlier again, where you have someone on the left-hand side who has a lot in their mind. And when you live in your mind, you'll miss out on the current moment, which is the only moment that really exists right now. And then you see the person on the right-hand side, they are really in the moment, taking in the beautiful trees and the sun, you know? And this is really where you are able to tap into your creativity, because there's nothing that's clouding your mind. And again, just to go back to some definitions of what mindfulness. So mindfulness is the simple act of focusing all your attention to the present moment. The other definition is in being intentional about your attention. So being intentional about what you pay attention to. So if you look at also the mind, if you focus on the negative and you are intentional about focusing on the negative, you are bound to start feeling crap, actually. But if you are intentional about focusing on the positive, the things that you are grateful for, the things that are working, then you are bound to start feeling a bit good about anything that may be bothering you. And mindfulness is a tool that helps us change our mindsets and really grow our thinking, you know. And COVID-19 is really forcing us to start thinking differently. You know, things like washing hands that we took for granted is very important. Hygiene, spending time with our family. I mean, some of us now have had to work remotely, and we've had to manage households, all kinds of things, which has been stretching us. And you could either approach that from a place of anxiety and complaining, or you could actually see the benefits and the stuff that we can be grateful for in this process. And I think for me, one of my favorite things about mindfulness is the combination of the brain and heart and compassion. You know, we do tend to work a lot on logic, you know, and just really working with the mind without really coming back into our heart space. And for me, this is also a true example of balancing lives and livelihoods. And why is mindfulness a superpower? And why is mindfulness important at a corporate level and at individual level? So I'm going to start unpacking this. So stress is obviously one of the major things. I mean, we are all going through stressful moments. It's whether it's a business that's failing, whether you are fearful of returning to work now that the regulations or the lockdown is being relaxed. So there's many things to be stressed about. You may have lost your job. You've got children who are sitting at home or not going to school. There's many kinds of things. And stress can be good because obviously it motivates us, but also stress can be quite detrimental to our health. And there are many causes of stress. I'm not going to go into the details of this, but I mean, currently we are all sitting in a very stressful situation where there's so much uncertainty in life. Now, how can mindfulness help us in navigating our stress? Now, mindfulness helps us with increased performance and also creativity I'm just trying to see the bigger picture because the slides, the pictures next to me are just covering that. It also improves our immune system, well-being and happiness, and better decision-making. And really, it also gives us the opportunity just to stop and really reflect and think about things and think about thinking, and again, setting intentions as to how we want to navigate this uncertainty and this unknown world that we find ourselves in. Again, the other benefits of mindfulness help us become self-aware with no judgment, actually accepting yourself as you are. And whether you're failing or not, the reality is that we all go through challenges in life, and it allows us to really act with compassion towards ourselves and others. It helps with relationship management. We spoke about transparency here and communication, social awareness, and emotional balance, rather than allowing stress just to take over. And individual benefits that one may experience when it comes to mindfulness is increased problem-solving skills, confidence, acceptance of criticism, because we're not perfect. I mean, nobody's perfect. That's the reality of it. And we also find ourselves now in a situation that's actually not perfect, and we're all in this together. It improves our memory, our focus, and attention skills. It reduces anger and hostility. It increases compassion, self-compassion, and compassion for others. It boosts our immune system and prevents stress eating and all kinds of other stress-related habits that people may actually start experiencing. Now, some examples of how mindfulness can be brought into the business and into your workplace or even into your daily life. Tricia and I are both yoga teachers, and we own yoga studios as well, Life Retreat and the Ocean Movement Studio. And this is definitely where we've been able to deepen our mindfulness. And this is why we're even sharing this whole concept of mindfulness with the bigger world. And so through having wellness classes, whether it's yoga, Tai Chi, and then designated quiet spaces where people can actually go into a space of stillness where they can actually recharge and rejuvenate. Where you can also offer group guided or silent meditation. I'm a meditation teacher as well, and my practice really helps to ground me, and as you start the day, so that you can start your day with intention. And also when you're ending your day, it's also a great way just to come into a space of stillness and just keeping, just silencing the mind chatter and letting go of any baggage or anything that may not serve you as you go forward. By also creating supplies and activities. I mean, there's so many ways that one can actually introduce mindfulness into business, starting meetings with mindful activities as we did, and also, checking in as we also did. And then again, having such lectures, like guest lectures speaking on mindfulness. The bottom line, basically, of what I'm trying to share with you is that mindfulness can save your company money and resources, and it can also help create a healthier and happy and content team. And again, you'll find that when it comes to stress management, here are some of the things that are being suggested, and meditation, deep breathing is one of them that you'll find. And here's another tool of mindfulness, which is quite basic. And as I've said, we are going to avail all of these to you, the presentation, so that you can also just go through these tools that we are sharing with you. And lastly, I just want to share some feedback that Tricia and I had gotten from the PBF when we met with them last year in September, when they experienced mindfulness for the first time. And I'm not going to go through everything, but here's one where one says, first time I was introduced to mindfulness, I found it informative and well presented. I intend to start practicing aspects that I've learned. It was good, learned more, to be more aware of others' needs in the workspace. It is okay to face and deal with your own shortcomings. Through mindfulness, one can be able to tolerate one another's difference at work and at home. And then the other one was nice to know meditation can help with work. So these are some of the feedback that we've received from people who've participated within our programs. And lastly, I just want to leave you with this, that mindfulness is not difficult. We just need to remember to do it. And what you may find is that in our lives, mindfulness is something that you're doing. Whether you are exercising, whether you are taking a walk, there's always opportunities just to practice mindfulness. And I will leave it right there with this beautiful still picture. And if you can just look at the water, and which is just purely calm. And my hope is that as one journeys into this concept of mindfulness, we can find ourselves in a space of calm where our minds are just as calm and where we can actually access our resources of creativity.